Converting metric measurements. But first we need to remember the horse to fly multiply and our saying of fly to horse divide of course. Now what this means, horse to fly, that means if you're going from a larger measurement such as meters to centimeters, that would be an example of horse to fly because a meter is larger than a centimeter, therefore we're going to go ahead and multiply to convert. Now if you're going from fly to horse, that's just the opposite. That would be something like centimeters to meters, or millimeters to centimeters, or meters to kilometers. So this little saying and this little image here is to help us remember how to convert our metric measurements. Now the first and most important thing on this page you'll see is right here. Okay, our metric conversions. Most times you will either have your fact sheet or you'll have it right in the problem itself where it gives you the conversion. It tells you how many kilometers get to meters. You can see here 1 meter is 100 centimeters, 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, and 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. This is huge. This gives us a good bit of our work to go ahead then and be successful in these problems. So let's start here with our 23 millimeters to centimeters. Now I look here and I see millimeter to centimeter. That would be fly to horse because millimeters are smaller. Now I come over here to the side and I can see the 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. So I will be dividing this by 10. As we learned previously in some other lessons, whenever you divide by 10, we take our decimal point. Since there is 1 0, we hop it 1 to the left. So we hop it back 1. And our answer would be 2.3 centimeters. Now we are going from centimeters to meters. Again, we are going from fly to horse. Therefore, we are going to divide, of course. So now to convert, it's 100 centimeters is 1 meter. So now I'm dividing with 2 zeros. So that means I put my decimal in and then I hop back 1, 2. And that tells me that my answer will be 1.5 meters. Last of all, here we are going from horse to fly. Since kilograms are larger than grams, we are going to now multiply. When you multiply, we'll be hopping 1, 2, 3 zeros to the right, or 3 places to the right, rather. And on these, I like to rewrite them. And we go 1, 2, 3, put that in, and that equals 1,350 kilograms. Now in our next setup here, you can see we're starting with 7 meters and we are actually trying to figure out how many millimeters that is. And since they don't typically give us a measurement like that in our chart, occasionally we may have to set up a couple step problems. So what we're going to do here, first we're going to go from meters to centimeters, which would be a horse to fly since meters are larger. I can look up in my chart and I know that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So the first thing I need to do is take my 7, again, horse to fly, I'm going to multiply. I go over 1, 2, fill in those zeros. So that actually equals 700 centimeters. Now for my centimeters, I need to go to millimeters. Again, that's another horse to fly. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So I need to take my decimal, which is here, and I need to hop it over 1 more 0 to the right. Fill in another 0, and I get 7,000. And now I have one more here. We have 5.4 kilograms equals how many grams? That is another horse to fly since kilograms and grams. So we are going to multiply that by 1,000. 1 kg or kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So I take my 5.4, I hop 1, 2, 3, put in those place holding zeros, and I now figured out that that is 5,400 grams. Now I have a few problems here for you to try. One like we just did where in this case what you're going to start with is 335 centimeters, and then you can work backwards. So you have a fly to horse going to the left, and then you'll have a horse to fly changing it to millimeters. And then you have a kilogram to a gram to kilogram question, rather. So again, you write these down, you get these to me, and we will go from there. Okay, and just to recap here, I brought back our pictures just to create that mental image so we can see this again. Whenever we go horse to fly, remember that means to multiply. An example would be kilograms to grams. That would be perfect. And when you see fly to horse, our saying is divide, of course. And that would be when you're going from, say, millimeters to meters, or millimeters to centimeters. All right, now I have a few more practice ones to do here, then we'll call it a day. We have 37 and 21/100th liters, and we are changing that into milliliters, and you can see our conversion. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. Since liters are larger, that would be a horse to fly, so that's 1, 2, 3 zeros. That means I'll be hopping my decimal point 3 places. I rewrote my 37 and 21/100ths already, and now I hop 3 to the right, because multiplying we go to the right. 1, 2, 3. So it actually equals 37,210 milliliters. Next up, we have 651 millimeters is how many centimeters? So we have 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, so that means we are going from fly to horse. So we are dividing. Whenever we divide, we move our decimal point to the left. So we start here and we move it. There's 1 0. That means 1 place value back, or 1 hop backwards, which gives us 65 and 1/10 centimeters. And to wrap it up, I figured we would end with a fun one here. We are going to start with 2 and 48/100th meters, and we are going to change that to kilometers, centimeters, and millimeters. So our first one here, if we look up, I see that I have 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So I'm going from fly to horse, so I need to make this smaller, so I'm going to have to back this up. 1, 2, 3, because when I divide, it hops backwards the number of zeros, which was 3 zeros, so that's actually quite a small answer here of 248/100,000ths. Now we are going to change from meters to centimeters. Now I look at my next conversion, which is up here. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So now I am horse to fly, so I'll be multiplying. 100 means 2 hops to the right. So now I start with my decimal here and I hop 1, 2 over. That equals 248 centimeters. And then centimeters to millimeters, I know that 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So that would be horse to fly, so I'm multiplying by 10. So I hop my decimal over 1 spot, fill it in for the place value, and my answer would be 2,480. And if I come back up here to my little diagram of horse to fly and fly to horse, whenever we multiply, remember we are moving our decimal to the right, and when we divide, that decimal is moving to the left. Again, as always, I hope this helped.